welcome, guys, oh my God, I just got all like fuzzy. It's been so long since I've DM'd. I didn't even like think about it, and now here I am. Okay, so we enter the world of.
Wait, hold on. Welcome to Just Roll With It, a group of improvisers plus me, who's not an improviser, playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay! Yeah, the plan was to stream this, but we decided that for some of the people who are learning to play the game for the first time, there were a lot of barriers to streaming. We'll figure it out later, but maybe you're getting this video and our first time playing D&D. Carrie's first time ever playing D&D.
Yeah.
So everybody as a player can introduce themselves real quick, and then when we get into the game, there will be a chance in-game for you to introduce yourself as a character. So if you guys wanted to say who you are and how you come to this game, and your favorite home activity. You don't have to actually answer those questions.
Okay, I'm Nate. Nate Tyson. I don't know if we're using last names, but sure, why not? And I'm an improviser with Baltimore Improv Group, and I live in Baltimore here. I came to this game a couple different times. Had some bad one-time campaigns leading up to this, but all like post-teenagerdom. I'm surprised I didn't meet anyone who wanted to play it like in real life when I was a kid. But since then, I've done one successful campaign that actually managed to meet more than twice. So this is my second one, and I'm really excited.
Fingers crossed we get over that one night stand campaign barrier for you, Nate.
Hi. I am Carrie. No last name. I am also
It's
right there.
Oh, yeah. The cover is blown. And I'm also in the Baltimore Improv Group, and first time, and I don't know what's happening, but I'm really excited about all of it.
I'm Tina. I am married to Danny, our DM. So I am here because we live in the same house. I came to D&D originally through Danny. He introduced it to me and was the DM of my very first campaign that went on for more than a year, I think, at least close to a year.
Yeah.
Since then, I've been into other really long-term campaigns, both of which ended for me when Danny and I had our baby, and 4-hour sessions was not conducive to having a newborn. And then we also play an annual game with my family. So once a year around Christmas time, when my whole family gets together, we play an ongoing Dungeons and Dragons game, but it is once a year.
We sound like Love Addicts Anonymous or something like that. It's like, yeah. I've had one committed one that went on for a long time.
I'm a serial monogamist.
Yeah, I've had a lot of, I've been with my partner for a long time. They introduced me, or we're swingers. We're all swingers introduced me.
I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah. I swung around with a lot of nerd games. I never crossed the D&D line because I felt like that would make me too much of a nerd. And then I didn't care when I became an adult, and now I love it. And what I love about it is the shared storytelling aspect of it. So that is why I have been so excited to try to get improvisers into this game, and because it's wonderful. At some point later on, we'll show and share all of the wonderful artwork, which I might be able to noodle in when we're doing a YouTube thing later, but that was all thanks to Steph Warrington, and I'll put up the link to her Instagram. She was great. She met with all of our characters and made our character sheets. Made our character pictures, which are just so wonderful and fun and exciting. And now, whenever I bring new players to this game, I always want to just commission an artist, because I don't know, the thrill of seeing you guys see your characters was just so much fun for me. So we're going to get into a world that I've been kind of building on and off in my head for years. and we're going to enter this session of Just Roll With It. So we come to the world of Talus, a grand world where there are a lot of higher things going on. There's an old world continent that is very established, very powerful, and a lot of people are fleeing that into the new world. So this conflict between old world and new world really defines the whole overarching society of this place. But for the small island towns in between, this matters for commerce, but otherwise they're free to kind of live in their own whimsical ways that they prefer, hopping and trading with each other with small trade routes, mostly via ship. And we find ourselves starting on one of those small islands, a small crescent-shaped island by the name of Moondoe Harbor, particularly run and inhabited by halflings. This is an outer island that sees some major trade and some minor trade. It's kind of in between. We start our session in a small little tavern right off of the wharf by the name of the Wayfarer's Welcome. Entering the Wayfarer's Welcome with rather a busy, kind of bustling charm about him. The door opens and it almost creaks to the tune of his step as he walks in. Whether or not people are aware of it, everyone becomes aware of his presence as he walks in. Just the captivating nature of I'll let Nate describe what his character looks like.
This is Quentin Hallsdyer, a name I just came up with, which I feel like is very close to an existing name that I cannot put my finger on. He is a half-elf bard who is somewhat on the roguish side. He was born out here in the islands, stayed out here his whole life. His mom is human. His dad, he doesn't know, but was an elf. Yep, that's him. And he has sort of, he and his mom, sort of had a scrape, and he had to do a lot of stuff, a lot of charming people out of their money. He learned to play songs. He learned, some dramatic monologues. He's a top-level entertainer, but he's also best friends with a ton of shady characters. And he ran out of, for a while, Alecliff, which is harbor. And he ran with a sort of the local criminal circles and elements there in a sort of hustlers situation where it was entertainment followed by manipulation and separation from money of rich people. Because he was abandoned by what he presumes to have been a wealthy or noble father, because his mother said so, he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder about economic and class differences, and he tends to fight for the little guy. So that's sort of his moral guide.
I was going to say, Quentin, as you enter, thinking about this nature to fight for the little guy, you're keenly aware of the general disparity of the wealth that's in this establishment based on what you were seeing on the outside. You get a sense that much like at Alecliff, this is an establishment that maybe a lot of the commerce immediately affects, but does not get out to the people around it. And as you walk in, you see negotiating at the bar, the barkeep, the owner of the establishment, the owner of the Wayfarer's Welcome, is a short halfling man, even short for halfling standards. And he's kind of created this whole environment to be suitable to people your size.
And pause 1 second, Carrie. Remember, halflings are hobbits.
Yes, to be suitable for people your size, but like has a whole bunch of networks that like his halfling, servers and everybody can get to everyone, but everyone can sit comfortably. And it's really quite interesting. But you see him engaged. He's kind of like rubbing his head, and he's got his head kind of balding around the side, and he seems to be thinking over something and playing with options, trying to get a word in edgewise, as very animated and charming as well. There seems to be a tall, absolutely stunningly gorgeous figure. But the interesting thing about her is that she's someone that you haven't really seen much of. Her skin is blue, and it almost seems to be that aspects of her have scales on it. And this is a creature that you might have heard of before, but never actually seen, and you suspect this to be a Triton. And she's very animated, and almost kind of like a sales pitch with the barkeep at this point. And Tina, would you like to describe your character?
I am absolutely the most gorgeous gorgeous being you have ever seen. I am only 5'2", though. Tritons aren't tall.
Comparatively to the other people in this establishment, you're doing okay.
Fantastic. But yes, so I am gorgeous, and I am sort of vaguely part fish, and I am wearing a little neckerchief tied jauntily to a side, and I have a clipboard with me and a pen, and I am chatting away. Is there anything else that you need to know about me at this point? My hair is teal, my eyes are violet, my skin is blue, a little bit scaly.
Oh, that's a clipboard? That's hilarious.
Yes. And did you give us your name?
Oh, I did not. Am I supposed to? I'm sorry, Valerian.
Valerian. Okay.
With a V. Valerian.
Yeah, so you walk in, Quentin, and you see this conversation happening, and he said,
No. I need you to, if you could just send anyone who's like, you know what, I really need some passage, but I want that passage to be the best passage of my life. And just give them our name, right? We're gonna. I know it's a little new, but I think if you just let them know the added benefit of having a pleasant voyage, right? A very, very enriching voyage. This would help them be more ready to.
I understand.
When they land.
I believe you. I hear you. A lot of people pass through these doors, and they're here for a place to stay for the night and for a meal. I don't book tours. I don't book.
I'm not asking you to. You don't. I'll book them. I'm happy to do the booking. I just like you to send them to me, please.
So this conversation, Quentin, has clearly been going on for some time, and for a particular patron who's a little bit way down the bar, you can tell that this has been going on for quite some time and may start to be wearing on her patience, which seems to be a particularly strong suit of this individual. So if she's getting impatient, then things are quite interesting. And Carrie, if you would like to introduce your character to us. Carrie, we can't hear you.
Oh,
There we are.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
A little bit. You're quiet.
Well, yes, I am. And so is Passionon. She is a high elf monk character. She came from a very large family and loved them so much, but early on in her life she traveled off into the world to try to find herself, and she has been dabbling in different arts ever since to be creative while also establishing some kind of identity. So she displays some of her artwork. You'll see her necklace and her bracelets are something she made while she was studying under a very famous jewelry maker in a nearby place. And she is always paying attention and, might not be the first one to speak up, but is observing what's going on around her, which is why she finds herself in this position currently.
Fantastic. So as this starts to go and he gets flustered, and you can see that the barkeep is kind of looking around, trying to be polite, but trying to edge this conversation in a different direction. He kind of.
Can I just leave you my this little piece of paper with my information on it?
Fine. Leave it on the table and
or can I maybe like pin it to a wall somewhere where people
perfect.
can see it?
Play with it. Yes.
I do that in whatever seems to be the best look. Or no, I go to the nearest wall and I just shove a piece, like I pull a nail out of the floor and shove it into the wall.
Okay. The nearest wall would be next to the bouncer of the establishment, who, Quentin, you're kind of standing quite near. And you understand that you're standing quite near to him because he is quite odorous as an individual. He is large, and it's mostly blubber. He probably is pushing 400 pounds, and he's kind of like wedged himself up into a seat, and it's like neck is kind of like gobbled up there. This is an orcish fellow, which in this place is absolutely huge. You can see that he has like a hand axe down by his side, and he's breathing in kind of heavily as he watches, and his head just kind of tilts a little bit as delicately Valerian, is that what your name is?
Mm-hmm.
Nails the thing next to his head, and he just kind of looks up, back over the barkeep.
Are you looking for passage? Excuse me.
Are you talking to him or me?
Oh, either one of you. Hello, I'm Valerian.
Hi, I'm Quentin.
Hey, Quentin. Are you in the market for passage, but not just passage? Passage that's going to make you feel better when you arrive than when you left.
No. I've just gotten here, but
Well, welcome.
well, thank you. What was your name?
I'm Valerian.
Valerian. How long have you been talking to the manager over there?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not very good with time.
It seems like he was not giving you what you were looking for. What are you looking for here?
Oh, I just want to make people's lives better. So I'm just looking for ways to let people know what wonderful services I can provide.
Do you have entertainment on this passage, this voyage?
Yes, we do. Are you interested in entertainment?
I'm an entertainer.
Are you? Tell me, what do you do? What entertaining? In what ways might I be entertained?
So the orcish fellow that's sitting there in the middle here is just kind of looking at both of you, and he like kind of shifts his weight, and from the bar you see the owner saying, if you could just take the conversation in a little closer. Lurk is he is not a people person, which is kind of what makes him perfect for this job. Come further in. We'll get you some food. We'll set you up with a table together. And this is wonderful. People coming together. That's the business.
Well, we wouldn't want to upset Lurk. Sorry, Lurk.
Thanks so much, Lurk. Take a look at the sign next time you need a passage. I'm your gal.
Lurk, as you walk away, said, "The only passage I'm interested in is whatever starts here, and it makes its way down here in some reasonable fashion."
I like Lurk.
I meant a boat.
I know what you meant.
Oh.
So, let's find a table.
Oh. But if you knew what I meant, why did he talk about he meant eating, right?
Over here. The table's right over there. And enjoy.
Okay.
So, where are you traveling?
Oh, well, currently our boat is going from her to her. DM, I don't know.
At this point, you would probably just be doing the circuits of the outer islands.
We're doing the circuits of the outer islands.
And have you done a full circuit yet?
DM, I don't know enough about this world. I'm so sorry.
At this point, I would say that you have. I mean, it would take maybe 2 weeks to a month to do that, depending on how long you stay at any particular port.
But the real important thing about our ship is that we offer not only passage, but I run activities and we have entertainment so that it is a much more desirable, leisurely experience than, being just cooped up in a boat for such a long time can do such negative things to one's self-esteem.
Oh, all right. And you would say that you cater to a mostly wealthy clientele?
I cater to everyone. I think everyone's journey should be improved.
Yes, but luxury is only afforded to those who can afford it.
And it certainly is luxurious, the service that we provide.
I think I am interested in this. Do you need an entertainer? A bard?
I would have to talk to my captain. See, I'm not allowed to make decisions about the money by myself, and so I can't hire you without talking to my captain. But he doesn't leave the boat.
That doesn't seem fair at all. For you.
I'm sorry?
For you. You seem very capable. I think you should be trusted with the money.
Thank you. I do too. But, in any relationship, everybody needs to feel valued and important. And I think this is just how Captain Clatch feels valued, is that he gets to make the hiring decision. And it's his boat, and we all know that on a boat, the captain is in charge. And I'm here to facilitate the services, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
but
would very much
play.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't even ask. Do you play? Do you sing? Do you dance?
I play. I sing. I do dramatic monologues.
Upon
read
hearing
poetry.
this, the manager who was coming over with some food at this point to set out for you, just like your typical bread, what you would bring to start, puts it down. He says, we could use a little bit of entertainment around here. Everyone the locals at least, are quite worried, especially the halfling crowd. And he points over to a section of the tavern a little bit further back, which you can see is more kind of segregated for halflings, if only because everything is more their size. And they're quite busy at this time of day. I would say it's like the mid-morning, which is when the halflings would eat their second meal of the day, which is an important meal, as are the other five. And there are a good amount of them huddled around. He says, yes, it's a bit of nerves flying around. So if you would be so kind and would like to perform, I'm certain that everyone in the establishment, that the levity of the situation would be great. I will walk away. I will bring you. What can I get?
Wait, what? The halflings are flying?
Flying? No one's flying. But everyone's just worried, concerned.
Oh, why?
Well, it's certainly not a problem for us who live on this side of things, but on the other side of the island, there's a tribe of goblins that seem to be moving their way towards what is typically halfling fishing grounds, and seem to be setting up something. And there's been more sights of what we call the far-siders on this near side of the bay, and some people are worried about it. This morning there was some activity that people seem to be complaining about. I was speaking to our friend over there about it. She's probably tired of hearing me say it over and over again. He gestures to you.
The high elf?
No, keep going. It's obviously really important to you, and I feel like it's an important story to tell everyone what's been going on. There's really like a lot of emotions out there right now, a lot of unsettled activity. I can tell it's bothering you.
I'm the type of person that if my clientele are bothered, then I pick up on it, and you understand, it just kind of settles in me a bit. And
I appreciate it. I think you really pay good attention to everyone in your establishment, and I know I appreciate it. I've been looking for a place to just kind of settle in tonight. So.
Hi, I'm Blaren.
Hi, yeah, I heard. Hi, I'm Kashanan.
Kashanan?
Yes.
That's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
And Carrie, if you want, they're at another table. You can make your way over to them or stay at the bar. It's up to you.
Yeah, I don't want to intrude. And look.
Oh,
come on over.
Come.
You're
very welcome.
Thanks. What were you all talking about?
This is Quentin. We just met. He entertains.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I've never been much of an entertainer.
No? The monasteries don't require it?
No. I've kind of always didn't spend a lot of time in my head, I guess. So I kind of try to express myself through making things. And that just kind of puts me at ease.
What kind of things do you make?
Well, this necklace right here.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That's really nice. Thanks. It's one of my favorite pieces. Yeah, it means a lot. And yeah, these bracelets and I put it to rest for a little bit because my fingers were getting sore, and I didn't want to kind of age myself ahead of where I should be. So I decided to put down tools and kind of journey on to another place. And that's
Do you need a little lotion? I have a little lotion / Danny, we didn't really discuss this. Am I allowed to have sundries of things?
Yeah. You're allowed to have little.
Your fingers hurt? I have lotions. Lotion.
I would love lotion. Well,
here you go.
You don't mind?
I would like to vaguely awkwardly apply it for her on her hands. But I'm totally okay at massaging them.
You are good at massaging hands. Wow, are you a masseuse?
No, I just pick up things here and there. Do you want me to roll for it, Danny?
Yeah, roll the performance check. This is the first check of the game. Hand massage.
I rolled a natural 20, so 22.
It feels great. So as she is massaging your hand, which you said has been quite sore and everything, what you find interesting about her hands, and again, they're very unique, but her fingers are actually kind of vaguely webbed. And as she rubs the lotion on your hand, it feels kind of at the same time of all the pressure of just a really good hand massage, getting to everything that matters, but also almost just waves lapping on your toes. Just the way that her the webbing in the finger kind of waves over it is really just extraordinary, and you were not anticipating having such a great hand massage today, and
especially when I'm asked.
Are you two okay? You two were lost in thought for a minute or two there.
Wow. Has she given you a hand massage?
No, we've only just met.
Oh well, thank you for that. I feel rejuvenated from the fingertips up.
And anything I can do. I aim to please.
Oh, and what do you do again? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, I am. I work on a ship, and I am in charge of elevating the experience of the passage for my guests. I provide activities. I provide schedule.
So at this moment, coming back with a few drinks and things is the barkeep again, and he puts the food down. He says, elevating the experience. I don't mean to be pushy, but we could use an elevation of experience in these general times. I'll leave the drinks and I'll go.
I reach out, or Quentin reaches out and grabs the barkeep by the elbow and says,
Yes.
so hold, barkeep,
Yes.
don't run away so quickly.
Yes.
What's going on here? It seems like you need help. It seems like you're pussyfooting around the real point here. It seems like you're.
There's a cat? Where?
Oh no, that's an expression. It's an expression.
Well, I don't mean to be so forward. It's just that when we see people who are larger than ourselves, who might be capable, it's just that if the fish run out, then my food runs out. And old Dalrymple has been saying that if he's not the man, the halfling that he used to be, and if he's worried that if the Farsiders keep coming to the near side, then he might not be going out to fish anymore, and I can't afford to find another. And they're all worried, and people don't drink when they're worried. I mean, they drink when they're worried, but they don't drink when they're worried, and drinking is what I make my money doing, and
It's okay. Okay. All right. I think I've got the picture. Do you two have the picture?
No, I'm so sorry. There's a near side and I don't. And drinking, I understand drinking. Drinking is useful for relieving stress. As she says this, she is like she has a clipboard with her, and she like is checking her clipboard to make sure that she has correctly identified what drinking does.
So I'll take this question. Drinking is very pleasurable, by the way. Drinking is something.
Let me be more direct.
Yes, please. Direct is wonderful.
Listen, I know that this might not be the type of thing that I should be asking, but
Please just ask.
could you go kill some goblins?
Oh, of course. But why? Have they been mean?
Of course they're mean.
They're threatening you economically.
Yes, for me personally, but there's plenty of stories of them eating children. Again, I don't want to say it too
Is that true? Is that true, though, or are those just stories? I don't think we can react on just
So
stories.
you get the sense that halflings don't really respect personal space, and you definitely understand, or like conversations that might be private, and you definitely get the sense of this when an old kind of cadre fisherman, like just over the banister on the other side, on the halfling side, hears you say this. He says, "Hey! Of course they eat babies. Back in my day, hell, you were lucky if you weren't eaten by a goblin. I would say 1 in 7 halfling children were eaten by goblins.
That's
Came out of
half.
fucking nowhere.
Oh my gosh. No.
Not half.
No.
It's big. It's a lot. A small island like this, it matters.
Oh,
Yeah, they eat babies.
Okay. Well, where are the goblins?
And he goes back to his conversation, and you're the barkeep, whose name at this point I don't think has been.
I was gonna ask.
His name is Belknap Ramblethorn. Says to you.
Nate, are you taking notes?
Belknap Ramblethorn?
Ramblethorn, yes.
Thorn. Oh, by the way, guys, real quick, if you want to, you can rename yourself your characters' names, and that might be easy because I
Yes.
don't
How do I
remember.
do that?
You go into the little blue dots in the corner of your camera. Are you on a computer?
Yes.
And if you go to the gallery view,
I'm in gallery view.
go to the top right corner of your window.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then rename. Yeah. Sorry. Gotta edit that out.
Goblins.
Yeah.
They're all bad.
So where we left off, you, I believe, had just asked where the goblins were. And Belknap Ramblethorn, the established owner, said, well, the report has been that they are taking up residence in some of the caves up on the eastern nib. And that's a problem because that's where most of the fish school at this time of year. But the reports that we've been getting, Dalrymple has been saying, when he says that, Dalrymple, you realize that this is the guy who piped up before, and he says, yeah, they're in our caves, and whenever we sail by, they're throwing things at us. They're
That's so rude.
paths back where we come from.
Oof.
And Belknap says, yeah, so to get there, it's over on the northern nib, and I hesitate. I won't. I'm not going to.
Go ahead.
No. It's not. Don't worry about it. Nate, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
All right. It's a. Hold on a second. Let me get my persuasion number. +6.
Ooh.
Was that a 20?
Yeah, D20 plus 6.
18.
Okay. You say that, and he says, oh, well, there's been talk that perhaps they're summoning some sort of beast. They seem to be bringing strange offerings.
Oh, what kind of offerings?
And old Dalrymple pipes up at this point. There's been carts that are full of all sorts of things. They look to be stolen from us. Contraptions, items, mechanics of different kinds. I don't know any of the specifics, but I've heard some awful bestial roars coming from the caves that I've never heard in all my time fishing up there, and that's much before any of you were born on this planet.
When did the goblins come to this island?
Well, that's actually a very interesting point. So you see, Mundo Harbor is of course constructed and created by Calliope herself, the goddess. When she was forming the moon, she practiced with little crescents, and this is part of that Mundo. But you see, it was contaminated. She baked it when she was a test bake, if you would, and what came from the rising of the island, some of it was quite delicious and wonderful. That's, of course, where we come from, the Mundo halflings. But some of it was not quite right, and that's why it was a test bake, you see. And some of it got a little burned and a little gnarled. And that's the Farsiders, the goblins on the other side.
That is the most racist creation story I've ever heard in my life.
It's not the story of how I'm sorry if it offends your ideas,
but they are also inhabitants of this island. They're not invaders, is what I'm asking.
I don't know that our fair goddess meant it to happen, but yes, they have been here as long as we've been here.
Okay, good to know. Hey, Monk, Cashinon?
Yes. Quentin, is it?
Yeah, you can call me Hallsteyer. I think I'm going to go by Hallsteyer on this island.
Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, great. So,
it is now canon that Nate goes by different names on different islands.
Yeah.
Carrie, is your name your initials and last name?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
It did not occur to me until I saw it written out.
Yeah.
Why that happened was when Steph was drawing her character, she saw that and she's like, "Your name is so cool," and Carrie's like, "Oh, it's just like that's the name I had to come up with for D&D Beyond."
I was just trying to create an account very quickly, and then it was like my whole identity.
I thought you were making some sort of like, I thought it was hash anon that you were saying, like QAnon or something like that, and I was like, okay, hashtag QAnon.
No.
So what do you think of this whole situation? Are you look?
I'll step up. I'll let you talk. And as he walks away, can I have everybody roll a perception check?
How do I do that?
So you're gonna roll a d20 and add your perception score, which on your character sheet should show up as.
They're alphabetical if you scroll down.
I got an 18
from the left.
Did you find it, Carrie?
Hold on. Oh wait, perception?
Yeah.
So that's +4. And I rolled a 2. That's awful.
A 6. No, that's the way the game goes. You're distracted. You're taking in a lot of new information. You can't perceive everything.
Also, you spilled your guts about yourself very quickly.
Which is fine.
I love
that.
What did you roll, Tina?
11.
Okay. So what you Cashanon, you're kind of mulling this over, and you're listening to Halsdyer as he says this to you, and you're kind of just genuinely captivated by his presence. Like, he is just commanding. There's just an aura about him. This is not something new to you. You have met people like this before, but just, I don't know. There seems to be something about, like, he all at once seems like you know him from somewhere, and that people do know him, right? There's just a sense of that kind of pride around him. So you're completely encapsulated by that. Valerian, you're kind of listening and generally just kind of hear the bustle of the tavern around you. Halsdyer, you are very aware of the fact that Bramblethorn is listening to all of this, or Ramblethorn rather has left, but he is very much still listening. And you were saying to Cashanon, what does she think about this?
I mean, I normally wouldn't say we should do anything violent, although anyone who harms children is very unsettling. I don't know. I try to stay out of everyone's way, though, but clearly everyone's very upset about what's happening.
Valerian, you look like you have something you want to say.
Can we eat the ground here? Is the ground made of bread?
Oh, that was a metaphor. That was a metaphor. It's an explanation for how things were created. It's a metaphor that people created a long time ago that was passed down orally as a tradition.
Can you remind me what a metaphor is?
A metaphor is when you refer to something, you compare something to something else, but you just.
So the ground is like bread.
Yes, in this case, they believe that the earth is similar to bread or something created by a god to justify their racism.
You're very smart.
Oh, okay.
I've been on these islands a very long time.
Insight check for me.
Who?
Can you roll an insight check?
Me?
Yes.
Ooh, sorry. 20, not natural.
Okay. You are convinced that you should not eat the ground.
All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna play it, but I wasn't. But that's fine. Well, okay. So I don't know about you, but my afternoon, evening, what the hell time of day is it?
It's mid-morning, like late to mid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've been in here a long time.
For the day.
The second meal of the day, right? I would say.
Oh, that's right. You did say yes.
Time is where you are. Yeah.
My plans for the day were just to see if anyone was interested in coming aboard my boat. I know you just arrived, Quentin, but maybe this would be a good way to get the lay of the land. We could just go and see if what they're saying is true. Not that I certainly believe them, but there might be another side. We could go see what we see about all of these carts with mechanics in them, and maybe hear the growling for ourselves.
V, I'm gonna suggest that we continue this conversation and cash in on. We should go outside, I think, because the walls have ears.
Ah.
Okay, wait. I already know that this is going to be a bad phrase for you. So people are listening to us, Valerian.
Oh, people.
Yes.
People have ears.
People have ears. People have ears.
Darlimple at this point is leaving so soon.
Yes, I
We're
believe.
just gonna get a breath of fresh air.
But thank you so much.
Do we have anything to settle tab-wise?
I don't think it'll work.
And as you say that, you see that Ramblethorn has been listening, of course. He says, well, if you intend to step out and think about what you might do for us, then of course this could be on the house, no trouble.
Can I lean forward and say, and if we were to help you out, perhaps you would also be interested in helping me book several passages?
Roll a persuasion check.
10.
Oh, of course. Of course I would. Of course, if this problem were gone, people might be more likely to come here, and there might be more travel.
Roll insight?
Yeah.
16.
He's kind of bullshitting you. But you get the sense that he wants you to do this, so that you would be, he'd be grateful to you if this happened, and given your prior conversation, you're not sure how much he's willing to offer or how much he can. He was being quite withholding on that information before. But this would go a long way. I mean, this is important to him.
Just know that if perhaps other terms can't be arranged, that we do also take payment for services that we may render.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Darling was, of course we're going to pay you. It's not a problem. Payment isn't the problem yet. But to protect our investments, we're prepared to do whatever we have to do. And then their general, halfling are all kind of listening to you now, and there's general, like a general sense of agreement around.
Well, what are we if not heroes? Am I right, guys?
I like to think of myself more as in the service industry, so sure.
Well, those are the heroes of service.
With a smile.
Shall we go? How's Dyer? You said, shall we go?
Sorry, everybody's delaying for me for a second. I just had a bit weird spike in my internet. Yeah, let's go outside. I still think we should do that. And if we need to end up paying you for this tab, we'll be back.
Understood.
Okay.
As we walk out, Valarian touches the wall once or twice just to make sure it doesn't have ears.
Got it.
Or maybe just presses her ear next to it just a little bit and then walks away.
Lurk, you're concerningly close to Lurk while you do this, and he stinks. And he kind of looks up and lets you do it.
Good thing Master Moses.
I offer Lurk a.
For you, he pounds it. Yeah.
All right, great. See you later, Lurk.
You exit the tavern, and you are immediately out to a familiar site where all of you came in to this particular place. It is a bustling wharf and boardwalk. The sun is shining. It is beautiful. There is a nice, wonderful breeze coming off of the sea. kind of flying up and around you are every manner of seabird, and they seem to be walking across and around. And there are a lot of halflings here. There are a lot of other folk here that kind of would look like you as well. Just a variety of humanoids. You see some elves, some dwarves every now and again, not too super common, but lots of humans, and just generally any kind of your humanoid races there are kind of bouncing around. Over on the corner, you see sitting by the water is a particularly like bushy bearded halfling who also seems to be quite elderly, with like a little cap slapped over to the side that you can barely see because the man is covered in seagulls, and seems to be kind of just like feeding them and dangling his feet over the walk and like that. And just kind of near him and around him, you immediately notice as you come out, there is a hunched over older lady, halfling, who is playing with marionette puppets that seem to be created from like all manner of things, of like coconuts and things like that. But she's doing a little dance show, and there's like a big cart behind her that is like whimsically built to kind of like tower over, like almost Dr. Seuss style, with all sorts of like puppets and masks and things on it. And she's dancing, and as children walk by, because it seems to be like a main thoroughfare, almost like a main street, she's like, "Oh, hey there!" And she like follows them for a bit with the puppets, and that is the general scene that you enter in on.
Wow, they look happy, don't they?
Children?
I'm sorry, Halsdire, what was that?
The children?
The children, the woman with the puppet, the person, the being with the puppets.
I believe it's a woman.
The woman with the puppets, the seagull man. It's good to see people so peaceful, you know, and I could just sit in the sun for hours.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's lovely. That feeling you have right now is what an entire passage on one of my ships will feel like. And then I'd also like to, on my clipboard that I have, make a note about puppets and how much they're clearly being carried. Or Shannon, I'm sorry.
Cashinon.
Cashinon. It sounds like some sort of like weird website you go to like get bitcoins.
Maybe one day. Yeah.
Cash Anonymous.
Yeah, exactly. So, did we ever learn where we needed to go to see the goblins?
Yes, it was east and caves and north.
Okay. I want to watch this puppet show for a second, if I'm going to be completely honest. I don't get to see puppets that often.
Okay. She is at this point, a little group is kind of gathered around, and she has like on one puppet what you all would understand to be a symbol of the man in gray, which is the god of death. This is a
To be clear, would I understand that it's a symbol of that, or would I just see that it's that humanoid in gray?
You would have a general idea of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have a general idea of the mythology at this point.
Okay.
So he, his likeness in this particular event seems to be kind of almost like a very professorial figure. Kind of like created from almost like, it seems to be like a small coconut style fruit, and then the actual like body is very, very tall, but like kind of slender, and he's got like wispy, almost like cobweb suit that he seems to have made out of different fabric. And in her other hand, she is kind of playing around with what seems to be kind of like an archetypal hero. He's got like a cape on and those sorts of things. And playing with that, she's kind of floating the man in gray above, and brings the hero over and says, "Your rule may be ever present, but I will command your realm." And then the man in gray kind of floats and says, like, "Foolish mortal, you shall not challenge the ways of death, for you know in your heart you need an end as much as you need a beginning." And she has the hero kind of like, "Oh, forget that!" And kind of attacks, and then the scene kind of goes on in this like epic kind of fight where she's kind of dancing them back and forth. And how long you want to watch it. But what eventually seems to happen is that the hero does overtake the man in gray. Kind of crumples him down to the bottom, and then kind of haunting moment where the hero walks himself out, and she looks up at everyone, puppet and puppet master, and says, "But what next?" Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everything's not these two, but the all of the performance models are mine. But anything else is for sale. And of course, anything you want to put in the hat would be greatly appreciated.
I'm going to go ahead and give her a gold coin because I'm feeling real generous.
Wow.
My goodness, thank you so very much.
Mm-hmm. You have excellent technique.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, I am.
Great
I'm
show.
sorry, I don't have a lot of gold, but I do have this this little brooch that I made once, and I carry it with me, and I'm really impressed by what you did, and I hope you'll accept it.
That's so. She picks it up and grabs it from your hands and kind of like looks at it very closely. That's so absolutely darling. Thank you so very much. It's beautiful. What was this? What is this stone? I don't know that I've seen that around Mundo Harbor before.
No, it was one of the outer islands. It's a kind of rose quartz, but it's not rose quartz.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry. I am not allowed to handle the money. But your hands must be so sore from all of that puppeting. Would you like a hand massage or some?
No.
Take
no,
it.
No.
Take it.
No. No, thank you.
You're sure?
I'm quite sure. Thank you very much.
You seem to be very good at telling stories. Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure, absolutely.
Thanks so much. Have you heard anything about goblins in these parts? Or anything changing about the goblins who live on this island?
Well, there's the Farsiders. Yes, they live on the far side of the island. It appears that they might be making their way over here. For my part, of course, I don't understand why there's such a problem. I don't, none of the rumors that I've heard or any of the baby eating or the pillaging or the stealing. I don't know that any of that is quite trustworthy.
Do you know? Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just going to do a perception check.
So if you want to perceive something about her appearance, that would be a perception check. If you want to see if she might be lying to you, or to know her intent, or if you believe her, that would be an insight check.
Then I'm going to do an insight check.
Yeah, you can do an insight check.
All right, cool. I got an 11.
From that, you generally she just seems to have a different opinion.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Um,
How about that?
do you know? You seem to know people here. Do you know anyone who would be able to tell us where the goblins have started coming nearer to this side? Near
The fishermen that seem to be coming through here, and the people who live up on the eastern nib, they seem to be most concerned. So I believe that it's happening over on that side.
And
What
how
is your-
far is that?
Up the eastern nib, I would say it's, if you went up through the main pass, it would be, I'd say, maybe an hour or two's walk.
Mm-hmm. And what's your name?
My name's Clementine.
Clementine.
You're sure you don't want a hand massage?
No, thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry I can't offer anything more.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Thank you, Clementine, for sharing your art with us. It's
Of course.
truly inspiring.
Yes.
I might come back and buy a puppet.
Would you like to buy a puppet?
How much are they?
Well, it depends on what you want.
And she shows you a variety of puppets that you could buy. She has like finger puppets for kids that those would probably be maybe like a handful of copper per, and then the ones like the elaborate kind of performance level ones that she has, depending on what you want. If you wanted, like, she's got like dragons and she's got like different beasts. Those are like 5 gold, which is a lot of money. And then for like a more like character hero archetype one or something like that, that would probably run you about a gold.
I'm gonna get a hero puppet.
Okay.
All right.
She hands it to you rather delicately and explains how the strings work and not to, get them tangled and such.
I give her the gold and put it gently in my bag.
Great.
Careful not to get strings tangled.
And the pass you mentioned is I'm terrible with directions. Is this way?
Yes, if you just keep walking your way up the walk, and you'll get into a small residential area, and you'll make your way up, and you'll see the jungle kind of part in a particular way, and you'll loop yourself up, and that.
And just as a aside, when they're talking about the nib, this is like shaped like a crescent roll. So what they refer to as the nib is like the point of that.
Oh,
And
okay.
you guys
So we're
are kind
at one point now and we're walking to the other point?
No, you're kind of like in the general harbor here. So you're like in the crescent part of it. And then like the Wayfarer's Welcome would be like here. And then you would be coming up to the eastern nib.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Clementine.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'll be here. Humphrey will be here, and you want to come back, we'll put on the show.
Is Humphrey the hero?
But no, Humphrey is the man sitting with her, the very bearded man covered in seagulls.
Oh, I was going to ask about Humphrey.
Yes.
I didn't realize you were sitting right there with her.
Yes.
Are you two together?
Yes. Happily married now for
Oh.
117.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
That's really sweet.
Thank you.
It's nice when couples can make it work. Do you have any children?
Sadly, no.
Oh. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So you bring joy to all these children, which I think is magical.
That's true.
Thank you. It's a calling.
And, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'll tip mine on the end. You're more important.
Humphrey, I love what you've got going on here. How long have you had so many bird friends?
And Clementine, you'll notice is like,
Humphrey is he tends to stay to himself. So I apologize, but I'm the people person.
I get it. He's the bird person.
If you will excuse me, though,
Oh, Clementine, just before you go, for that 110th anniversary you have coming up, if you think that you would like a voyage of relaxation where you just become even more in love than ever you've been
Thank you.
my son.
I do have to leave.
Can I just, I'll just attach this up here and I'll put up my sign on her.
Makes her way kind of hurriedly into the cart, and Humphrey, with this big bushy beard and just covered in, just kind of keeps sitting.
I've never chased a woman away before. It's a new feeling.
Oh.
I believe that. Blaren. You know, you spend a lot of time asking other people what they want, but I feel like no one really asks you what you want.
Oh, I just want to provide the best experience on a boat anyone's ever had. I feel like there's this opportunity that's there to make what people have to do anyway just so much better. And why not provide that to them?
Wow, that's really thoughtful of others.
She wants people to get on her boat. That is what she wants.
Well, but so that they can have a good time.
No, we know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay. Do you guys want to walk up the path if you have nowhere else to go, and we'll see what we hear and maybe make a decision? Because it doesn't sound like she thinks the same thing that the other guy thought.
That is true.
The other guy.
I'm a little worried about how fast she ran off, but we might have just been annoying her.
Well, yeah. I'm sure she had another puppet show scheduled, right? You're an artist, you know. You have to go where the money is and keep your...
And you have to kind of save your energy for the things that you want to put it into. And I think for her, it's the puppets and the children. And
roll a
taking up too much of her time.
Perception check for me, if you would. I would say Hallsdyer, roll a perception check.
Can Valerian roll a perception? We keep talking about these children. Are there actually children around? And if so, what can I talk to one? But do one thing.
They kind of went on their way a little bit, but there were a few children that were there.
I'm sorry, you can finish with Hallsdyer first. I didn't.
I had a bad roll.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 10.
Okay. Yeah, you generally don't see much. You just kind of see Humphrey still kind of like bopping back and forth with his little seagulls. Valerian, you wanted to talk to children. So some of the children that left might have been with parents that kind of were by. Some of them seem to kind of just be free range little halfling children. And that.
Can I go up to one in the least creepy way possible? And say, hey, did you like the puppet show?
Yeah, so you walk up to like a kind of very like dirty, almost scruffy little like halfling boy. And he said, yeah, it's all right.
I thought it was pretty cool the way the hero beat death.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I know that I'm probably not the normal kind of person you see here.
No, you're like one of those fish people.
I am one of those fish people. Oh, you're so smart. So because I'm a fish person, sometimes people ask me to help them. And somebody asked me to help them with some goblins, and I'm just wondering what you know about goblins. I don't know a lot about goblins. Are there goblins here? What do you know about goblins?
Yeah, well, you know, they're around sometimes.
Are you scared of them?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Why, you know, they're kind of deadly.
You picked an inexpressive child to interview.
I mean, I just like, I don't know, like, they're kind of scary, and like, usually, like, they're on, like, sometimes they come into town and they're always kind of like loud and selling stuff, but like,
do they ever hurt anybody?
Yeah.
Who do they hurt?
Like fishermen and stuff, and, like, fight people and stuff.
Okay.
They're like, if like some of the houses and stuff get robbed by goblins.
Oh no! Did they take anything from your house?
I don't have a house.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where do you stay?
Like around here.
Oh. Well, first of all, do you want to see something really cool about my fingers?
Sure.
And can I show him my webs?
Yeah.
That's all I got.
He just runs off.
Pretty cool, right? Oh, bye, kid.
I was going to give him money. If I see him again, can you let me know? Can I have like a passive perception for this kid again?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I want to take you two aside for a second. I have a weird sneaking suspicion that the puppeteer and her husband are goblins in disguise.
I know,
But-
it's not that funny, but yes, I agree.
I mean, pretend I'm not laughing.
I mean,
Wow.
I hate to accuse someone, but she did run off and didn't seem to want to tell us her real story. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, when I checked and like thought about it for a second, I was kind of distracted because I was thinking a new song in my head. And so I feel like I might have missed some stuff, but
Oh, what's the song?
tell me what your favorite genre is.
My favorite genre?
Yeah.
Oh, Motown. The Motown of the Outer Islands.
The Motown. Yes, of course, Motown. Well, the song I sang was something called "Dancing in the Mud Canals in Which We All Walk." It's a pretty great tune
I don't know.
so far. It's all about people exiting their houses and dancing in the mud canals in which we all walk.
But the tune.
The tune?
The tune.
Let me think. Hold on a second. I had it a second ago, but I just thought of
sorry.
the. Hold on. Let me get it.
Oh, that is a great tune. You should sing that. You should
Roll
write
a
that down.
performance check, Halsey.
Roll a performance check for that.
Yeah.
Well, is that
I have
perfect
advantage.
recognition?
I'll give you advantage.
I have a 6. So let's see. Let's hope. I rolled a natural 20.
Okay, you start to do that, and Humphrey is kind of like bopping a little bit to it, and like you notice that like people who are kind of like bustling by are like starting to take notice, and like anybody who might have been around to like be entertained by the puppet show was kind of like, ooh, like, you know, like it was like it's a moment of like they know that you're kind of just like telling them that stuff, but like something about it was captivating, and you definitely drew some eyes as you did that.
Since Humphrey has now like shifted and Valerian had not at all thought about the possibility of him being a goblin, can she look and perceive?
You can roll a perception check, yeah.
12.
Just looks like
Dude,
most of
seagulls.
what you're seeing is just beard and
And seagulls.
Yeah.
That's what makes me so nervous about Humphrey.
Do you want to walk up into the path and see what we see?
Yeah, I suppose we should.
I
That
think
said,
we
we
should.
have a lot of eyes on us. I'm trying to think if I like getting attention, so I always try to think of how I can use this attention in my favor.
Well, nobody like threw coins at him, even though his performance was so great.
No. Nobody paid for it, but I mean, people were interested.
Well, we'll see you all later. We're gonna go see about this whole goblin thing. Everybody stay calm.
Bye.
Okay. You start walking your way up towards that, and you start making your way towards, as she said, a more residential area. So as you're walking by, where you kind of came out at the Wayfarer's Welcome would be kind of where the larger ships port. It's like at the very kind of dead center of the harbor, so they need like the deepest water to kind of come up. But as you're skirting the kind of boardwalk over the side, you start to see like smaller ships. This isn't a great example, but just kind of picture for you, like almost like yacht sized as you kind of start going down, as opposed to like the giant like warships and stuff of that. And you don't see too many of those often in Moon Doe Harbor, but the skiffs and the island hoppers are where you're starting to pass now. And you would, Valerian, as you were passing, you would kind of docked a little bit off of a pier on one side, you would pass your ship.
Before we go too much further, it is 9 o'clock, and I might need to let my roommates have the common area again, so I might need to move. Or I don't. Were we planning on going to 10? What was our, or was it 9?
What do you guys?
I had it was 9:30 at 2 hours, but I didn't know we were going longer than that. I have no plans.
Right. Carrie?
Yeah, I have another 30 minutes in me if we want to.
Yeah, let's do another 30 minutes. Let me let my roommates know. I'll be right back.
Okay, do you want to take a break real quick, Nate?
Yeah, just like I really only need like 3 minutes.
I mean, okay, that's fine. I'm going to run to the bathroom, so if you guys want to...
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll sell it, whole thing.
Sure, yeah. As you're
Consider
walking
yourself
away,
sold.
you do pass a number of shops, just some kind of more rundown inns than the Wayfarer's Welcome. Yeah.
You, out of game, said something about each of us having a common healing potion. Is that a thing already or no?
Yeah, everybody should have a common healing potion. And if you
I didn't put it in my
have
stuff.
one,
I'll do that.
Well, yeah, so.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And as you do continue to walk, you notice that the clientele that you're seeing are starting to become less of like the commercial clientele of halflings that might be doing their market shopping and just buying goods that came in from the trade ships, to more of the working class. You start to see some people who might be on their break, mainly shipmen. So you're starting to see like all manner of like man and woman who are not halfling but are kind of like leaning up against like pier posts and those sorts of things. And as you continue to walk, that becomes more sparse, and you do start to see more of a residential area. And just as it starts to edge down into beach, undeveloped beach, you see up on the left a pretty well-traveled path that goes up and into kind of like the jungle that runs alongside the beach. So if you were thinking about, I'll draw this to here, if you're thinking about like the crescent, then you guys had started at the Wayfarer's Welcome, and you're trying to end here. Where you are is kind of like at a perch point here, which gets to like rocky stuff here. So in order to like actually get there, you would go through the jungle like that, which is what that path is doing.
It's a clearly denoted path to do that.
Yeah. It's well traveled. It kind of like goes up the hill and into that. Yeah.
And have we seen any goblins? Have we seen anything?
Actually, yeah. I mean,
like houses destroyed or people looking sad?
No. You might have seen like one or two goblins who might have been like pushing carts and things like that. People who seem to kind of like might actually live there, but like no more than one or two at a time. When they're talking goblins, you kind of get the sense that they might be talking about like an actual like group of goblins moving all at once, as opposed to the odds and ends individuals who might have defected from that and come over here.
Okay. All right, team. So it seems that this is maybe the decision point. Do we head over and talk to some goblins, see what we can see, or?
We've come this far. I think we have to keep going.
Agreed.
Okay. Can I, and potentially all of it as we go into the jungle, be more active in perceiving than passive?
Yeah, I would say generally speaking, when you like roads in general in D&D are not the safest because they are traveled. So bandits and things might jump out of those sorts of things. So yeah, it's generally, you guys would know to be on alert as you were traveling along that. So you travel up the path, and you start to walk, and immediately the sounds around you start to change. Like you start to hear more birds, and like it's almost incredible how the waves and the sound of the waves are almost completely enveloped by just the canopy and the jungle around you.
Can I get just a little bit uncomfortable when I can't really hear the waves anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be reasonable. So you're walking along this path, and you notice that it starts to open up into like some old um, ruins almost. Like there are along this path, there seem to be like old kind of brick buildings and such that are around, like shrubbery and such. And like ruins, it's hard for you to tell if they're ruins or if they're old, just like abandoned stone buildings or like walls and pathways. But it is odd. It strikes you as odd as you continue to walk. Go ahead and everybody roll a perception check for me, please.
7.
17 plus 4, 21.
18.
Okay, so Valerian, as you're walking, you're kind of like nervously talking about the fact that like the waves are gone and this is like an environment, and you're fine with it, but like this is not like it, and one of those things. And Halsdyer, you're the one to kind of stop her first, and immediately after Kashidan, you kind of recognize it as well. As it opens up and the path kind of opens up into more of a skied over area again, you can hear up ahead this kind of like barking, halting conversation that's being had. And it almost sounds like an argument. It's kind of like if a lizard and a dog were having a fight, but they were the same like creature. It's like it goes, and just the kind of like weird kind of sounds coming up around the corner there.
Really wish I spoke Goblin.
Yeah, does anyone in the party speak Goblin?
I do not.
Okay.
Gary?
No.
That's gonna be trouble.
Do we have a sense of where it is enough that we could sort of sneak around to like see them, or
you can attempt to sneak? Yeah.
All right. Let's sneak. Who's our sneakiest person? If you.
I think I'm
what?
sneakiest.
What's your?
You got a 20 in Dex. You're probably sneakiest, Carrie.
I have a +3 in stealth.
I have a +5.
Carrie, I would guess you have a +7.
Hold on, sorry.
Actually, I can bring up your character sheet and know that.
In what am I looking?
Yeah, you have a +7 in stealth.
It's the.
Oh yeah. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
All right. So, would you mind going and taking a look over there, or whatever we were planning on doing?
I'm already ahead of you.
All right. Great.
So what do I? Okay.
Roll a d20 and add 7.
I got 20 at +7, 27.
You
Oh,
rolled a nat
Jesus.
20! Carrie's first nat 20!
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was useful as opposed to hand massage.
So,
I know when to save them.
Kashidan, as you walk up there, if you go to roll 20, this is what you see.
Oh.
I have to switch things.
Actually, I can just share my screen, if that's helpful.
That would be helpful.
So you are coming up on this pathway, and you see all of these goblins kind of arguing with each other as you make your way up on this part. So I'm going to go ahead and place you on the map, and we're just going to use later on we will come up with like actual good tokens for you, but we're going to just pick something funny for now. Uh,
Nunchucks, I feel like it's solid.
yeah, you're gonna be nunchucks, Carrie.
Yeah, it's on brand.
And what color do you want to be?
Of those tiny little colors? Those
Yeah, you can be red,
red.
blue,
Red.
red.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I've made the goblins too. So
Oh,
remember that you're the red nunchucks.
you can change me then.
That's okay.
Okay.
So you would have snuck up right around here, and from that you're able to see all of this. And
What
from
is the thingy that's in the middle of the road between the goblins and Carrie?
that's another
Dots?
goblin. He seems
That's
to be barking back at this one. You would be able to see all of these, Carrie, except for this one.
Okay.
And these two seem to be the main kind of leaders who are arguing. And over here, Carrie, you see a cart, and from your angle, you are not able to see what is pulling the cart. But this seems to be some sort of operation that isn't going all that well. And with a natural 20, go ahead and roll a perception check, actually, too.
Okay. Uh, 20.
20?
Well, 16 plus 4.
Okay, great. You are able to note that they seem to have a bunch of like contraptions on them. They're carrying like packs and stuff that just have like a bunch of like machinery and pieces on them.
Okay. But I can't communicate with them, right?
With the goblins?
Yeah.
You don't know that. To be
You
true.
also don't have us there. So here you can do whatever you want to do, but if you want us, you would either have to yell for us to come help you, or you would need to sneak back, report to us, and bring us in.
Great. So yeah, I sneak back to them
Okay.
after taking all this in. So I see 4 goblins, right?
You saw 4 goblins, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm so confused at what the thing without the red dot is. Isn't that? Did you say that was a goblin?
Oh, it is a goblin. I just don't have a red dot on him.
So they're 5 then.
Yeah. Can you guys move these tokens?
Oh, if I switch screens right now, we're just watching yours.
Oh, that's right.
So mine in Roll20, I still see the tavern.
Same.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say for like we only have 15 minutes left, so I wouldn't worry about it too much now. But
Yeah, I'll figure that out.
Okay. All right. So I sneak back to them.
Okay.
All right. They're there. There's at least 4. They're yelling. They seem agitated. They definitely have things on them that could be stolen. It could be the stolen goods.
oh, what do we do? Should we go ask them if they stole it?
They seem really bothered. I was nervous to even try to interrupt them. Is there any way we could maybe? Do you guys want to?
So I know it sounds a little vain, but I'm very pretty, and sometimes because I'm so pretty, people are nice to me.
That's on the ship, right?
That's all the time.
Oh, I don't know if they're the kind that respond to looks. They seemed really kind of concerned with other stuff, and I'd hate to see you get hurt.
I mean, we do have, a rather charming party, if I've got to be honest.
Well,
We should-
argue with you.
We should probably.
And be ready to fight if we have to.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you feel like you're ready to fight?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a Triton. I'm always ready to fight.
All
do
right.
we think we should? So we want to talk to them first and then fight, because we
Oh.
lose any advantage if we let them know that we are.
Yeah, but are we a little bit racist if we just fight them and don't actually know if they stole anything?
That's a very good point.
I think we should just just feel them out, because For all we know, they're just misunderstood.
And they might speak common.
I feel like we heard at least 2 conflicting stories.
We should make up our own minds.
Yeah.
One of us is going to get shot with an arrow almost immediately, I feel like.
Well, no, I'm not.
I'm very good
One of
at
us talks
dodging arrows.
first, and then...
I think you should talk first.
I should talk first?
Mm-hmm.
I am very pretty. I should talk first.
You should talk first. I will be right there next to you in case it is necessary for me to back you up. But I will be behind you.
Okay.
Oh, hidden fully? Oh, hidden fully is a good idea too.
Right? That you guys could then have that element of surprise.
Yes, and they think you're alone, so they underestimate.
Yeah, and then maybe they won't hurt me either because I'm so pretty, and why would you hurt somebody by themselves?
Sounds perfect to me.
Also, offer them one of those amazing massages. I'm just saying, my hands have never felt better.
Oh, I'm so glad. If you could just tell everyone that that's the service they could get on my ship. That'd be great. All right. Out of game team. I am willing to bet that I can't persuade them. I imagine this is going to be a fight, which will put us over 9:30. So I don't know how anyone wants to handle this. I could go talk to them for the next, it turns into a fight and we can stop there. If we want to go longer, it's up to everybody.
I think this is a good break point because we're about to get into the next stage or a much longer chunk. So this probably is a good time to do a break, I'd imagine.
Great.
Works for me.
Yeah, this was really fun though. I really had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And-
guys.
We're
Well,
going to get to fight next time.
yeah.
Oh, I'm already
And-
excited about it.
And it's nice to...
Next time for when
It-
we fight stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now, but this was just roll with it, which is what we're gonna be doing for a while as a human race. So we might as well just roll with it here too. Come on by, wash your hands.
That's our slogan.
Come on by.
Wash your hands.